What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, we have the highly anticipated heavyweight title rematch with undefeated WBC Olympic bronze medalist Deontay, the Bronze Bomber Wilder, and undefeated British lineal heavyweight world champion Tyson, the Gypsy King Fury, on the horizon February 22nd in Las Vegas, Nevada. With that said, I just watched the interview with Tyson Fury, newfound trainer, new slash old found trainer in Sugar Hill, Steward, nephew of the late great legendary trainer Emmanuel Steward from the Crunk Gym. Tyson Fury stated that he's going back to his roots with the Crunk Gym, which is truly not his roots because he spent 3 weeks down at the Crunk Gym in Detroit with Manuel Stewart and Sugar Hill Stewart, and he's feeling like he needs to go back to his roots. He said that for this highly anticipated rematch with Deontay Wilder, he doesn't feel like his game plan, his original game plan, worked to begin with. Thus, the reason why he fired his recent trainer in Ben Davidson. He said he had to make some changes because the game plan and the approach for the first fight wasn't successful. Thus, he got a draw, and he stated that the draw is unsatisfying. He said if you didn't get a win, you got a loss. It doesn't matter if it's a draw or official L on your resume. You was unsuccessful, right? And so he stated that he feels like he had to make some changes. I personally feel like if it's not broke, why fix it? If you felt like you won every single round of the fight, except for the 2 rounds you obviously was knocked down, and then Tyson Fury will argue that he won the rounds he was knocked down in. So if you feel that way, then why make all these unnecessary changes or these necessary changes? Why feel the need to make these changes? You're moving your training camp. You're hiring new trainers. You feel like you need to go back to your roots. This time he said that he's 6'9", 260 pounds, and he feels like he needs to add weight because he wants to walk forward and knock Deontay Wilder out. He also stated that he doesn't believe that he could get a decision. Not that he can't get the decision, but he believes it's very difficult to get a decision in the States in Deontay Wilder's backyard. With that said, he also said to his defense that if Deontay Wilder was to come to the UK and have a showdown with either himself or Anthony Joshua, it would be very difficult for Deontay Wilder to get a decision over there. He said that, when you go into greats' backyards, it's hard to get a decision. So he don't want to leave anything up to judges. So with this recent interview done by IFLTV, shout out to IFLTV, he stated that, Sugar Hill Stewart, the new trainer, stated that, even if it didn't come down to getting a difficult decision in the States, they don't believe that's the game plan to beat Deontay Wilder anyway. It's not to outbox him. It's to move forward, march forward, walk him down and knock him out. He said that he watched couple of recent fights from Deontay Wilder. He's doing his homework, obviously, his due diligence, and he stated that, he saw it in the 12th round, the second half of the 12th round, where Tyson Fury was dramatically knocked down and should have been counted as a knockout, but he got up. He felt like he won the second half of that 12th round. Tyson Fury felt that way as well. And the Ortiz fight, the 7th round, obviously, where Deontay Wilder was buzzed and hurt in the 7th round badly, and he pointed to a few other fights. I can't really remember the fights that he pointed to. But with that said, they feel like when Deontay Wilder, and they give credit to his chin, but they feel like if he could get buzzed, if he could get hurt and staggered, then he could get knocked out. If it's to the old Arnold Schwarzenegger Predator, reference when Arnold Schwarzenegger, the lady told Arnold Schwarzenegger, he was bleeding, and Arnold Schwarzenegger said, well, if he bleeds, then we could get rid of him, right? then he's human. If anything bleeds, then you can get rid of him, right? So this is what Sugar Hill Steward believes. If he could get buzzed and he could get staggered, then he could get knocked out. And they believe that the way to beat Deontay Wilder is not to be on the end of his long, rangy punches, but to step inside of him. And to their defense and to their credit, I believe both times Deontay Wilder was buzzed was on the inside. Short punches that he didn't see. The Ortiz straight left was on the inside when they were mixing it up. And Tyson Fury in the 12th round, what happened was after Jack Reese, the referee, decided to give Tyson Fury the benefit of the doubt and allow him to raise from the ashes, Tyson Fury, got hit again in that 12th round by, a straight right. And see, Deontay Wilder is very rangy. He's 6'7". Now, they believe that he's a cruiserweight, right? That's campaigning at heavyweight. I disagree with them, right? Because he's 6'7", and he's 220, 225 pounds, and they believe that that's a cruiserweight. They believe that. But my thing is this. See, Muhammad Ali was 6'3", 220 pounds, and Big George Foreman was 6'3", 220 pounds himself. At the most, George Foreman was 230 pounds, right? It's just that Deontay Wilder's 6'7", and 6'3", so he's 4 inches taller than them. And so when you stretch him out, he goes up, he thins out because you stretch him out, right? He's thinning out. You take that same 220 pounds or so and stretch it out, he thins out. You squeeze it down, they're going to spread out. So, they're going to pop out. When you squeeze anything down, it pops out. When you stretch it out, it thins out. So he's the same weight as them. It's just that he's taller than them. So, he carries it different, right? So with that said, they believe that he's a cruiserweight campaigning at heavyweight. Now, I believe that Tyson Fury, these heavyweights today are super heavyweights. That's what it is. So, and then you have Mike Tyson and Joe Frazier, who was 215, 220 as well, right? So, and Evander Holyfield eventually got into that heavyweight. He got comfortable and settled into the heavyweight, but he was a cruiserweight that campaigned at heavyweight. And he was tough as nails, right? So with that said, I don't believe that he's a cruiserweight. He's just a long, rangy heavyweight. Just like you had Tommy the Hitman Hearns, who was a long, rangy welterweight, right? So he made 147, but he was taller than everybody. He was rangy, right? So with that said, they believe that the way to beat Deontay Wilder is not to be on the end of his long, rangy punches, is to step inside. And we've seen when he was buzzed, like I stated, it was on the inside with choppy punches, short punches that he didn't see on the inside. So, right. But I think the problem with that is, I believe those rounds are fool's gold. And so they believe that, listen, I must step inside. If I had success in the 12th round in the second half while I was buzzed, see, when Wilder had Fury hurt, when Fury got up, he hit Fury with another punch in the corner that hurt him again. And then Fury made the decision, I'm going to just press forward in this 12th round because I don't have much time in this 12th round. I'm just going to be a dog, and get through this round. And so I believe that they're looking at it and stating that and feeling, listen, if we could do that from the opening bell in the rematch, we could press the fight and possibly knock him out, because he did buzz Deontay Wilder in the 12th round. But I think the problem with that is that Deontay Wilder just doesn't give it enough credit for how crafty he is on the inside, just how crafty he is at avoiding punches on the inside. Now we're talking about a few punches that landed. It brings us back to the old Shane Mosley-Floyd Mayweather fight. Everybody points to that round where Floyd Mayweather got buzzed by those 2 punches from Shane Mosley. The first, it was the straight right, and then it was the hook that hit him on the temple, and his knees buckled and he nearly fell. And that's what everybody points to, but they don't point to the fact that he never was hit by that punch ever again. He wasn't hit by it in the first round, and he wasn't hit with that punch ever again after that, right? And so Deontay Wilder was never hit by Ortiz by that punch after that. In the 12th round with Tyson Fury, we can't say because it ended, obviously, in the 12th round. But with Ortiz too had a rematch. He had 5 more rounds because that fight went to the 10th round. That was the 7th round when he buzzed Deontay Wilder and hurt him. He never went down, and he never got hit with that punch again. So they went another 3 rounds. He didn't get hit with that punch again. Somebody as crafty as Luis Ortiz with the Cuban-style background and a high ring IQ never was able to capitalize on that punch again. Right? And they fought on the inside again. Deontay Wilder knocked Ortiz out with an uppercut on the inside. Not a long, rangy, straight right. Not a left hook from the outside, but an uppercut on the inside. So that means that they did mix it up again on the inside. It's one thing to say, oh, well, they never fought on the inside. Deontay Wilder didn't allow the fight to get on the inside. Well, he did. He just never got hit with that punch again. In the second fight, so that fight went 10 rounds. So after the 7th round, went 2 more rounds. It got to 10 rounds, and he didn't get hit with that punch again, and they fought on the inside. That lets you know that he just doesn't get enough credit for being smart, ring savvy, and being able to fight on the inside. Now, he went another 7 rounds with Ortiz after that, and still wasn't hit with that straight right hand the way he was in the 7th round. So that means he made the necessary adjustments to that straight left hand. And so I'm starting to believe that Tyson Fury and his trainer, and not taking nothing away from him, but they're underestimating the savviness and the ring IQ of Deontay Wilder to not allow that to happen again. So you think that you're just going to press forward and knock him out. No, I believe that Deontay Wilder is going to make the necessary adjustments to nullify Tyson Fury from coming forward and pressing the action. So, and to come forward means that Tyson Fury has to make himself more vulnerable than he did the first time. Because Tyson Fury admitted and showed it Sugar Hill Steward that Tyson Fury played it safe in the first fight. Right? And they said playing it safe could get you knocked out just as much as going for it could get you knocked out. So if that's the case, and you want to press the action and press the fight, that's going to leave you vulnerable to get hit with big punches in return as well. And I believe that Deontay Wilder has learned. He's back in the lab. He's going to make the necessary adjustments to that game plan, to whatever game plan Tyson Fury has. And another thing is, once you start not having success, or once you start to fatigue, because that's a whole different style than Tyson Fury is used to using. Remember, Tyson Fury started coming forward with Otto Wallin because Otto Wallin was having success with Tyson Fury fighting on the back foot. Thus the reason why we saw him get cut over his right eye with those 2 cuts from left hooks. From the end, Otto Wallin is only 6'4", right? And not as rangy as Deontay Wilder, and he definitely don't have the power. But Otto Wallin was having success with Tyson Fury on the back foot, and guess what? Tyson Fury then had to change his game plan, come forward and press the action because fighting off the back foot with Otto Wallin wasn't working. But yet he still didn't get the knockout over Otto Wallin. And when he did press forward, Otto Wallin was still having much success when Tyson Fury started to decide to come forward. And remember, Tyson Fury also, too, you want to take a chance in coming forward, and that's more of a risk of opening that cut over your right eye, because we haven't seen him in true combat. We saw him in the WWE, but that's staged. We haven't seen him in a true combat since the Otto Wallin fight to test that cut. And so now his first true real action is going to be against the hardest puncher the sport of boxing has ever seen, arguably. With a beautiful left hook, a beautiful jab, and obviously there's no need to even talk about the straight right hand. But we dismissing the fact that he has a beautiful uppercut on the inside is what I think they're missing. So I believe that Tyson Fury and his team are saying this. They're throwing caution in the wind and hope something sticks and saying, if we get knocked out, we get knocked out. Because it's just a matter of time. He also pointed to the fact that he believes that he agrees that Deontay Wilder will knock out Anthony Joshua early because styles make fights. So he's in agreement with Tyson Fury. But can Tyson Fury knock out Deontay Wilder? Anything can happen. It's a heavyweight division. You're dealing with men over 200 pounds. And when you're dealing with Tyson Fury, he's a super heavyweight. He's 6'9", 260 pounds. And he's looking to gain weight. See, when the part of him gaining weight is the thing that's is confusing me, is because when you gain weight, Tyson Fury, when you gain weight, guess what happens? Fatigue is going to set in. You're going to use a style that you're not used to using, that you normally don't use, and you're going to add weight, carry more weight doing it. So that means fatigue is going to set in. And when fatigue sets in against a power puncher, you're going to resort back to what you know. So that means that Tyson Fury is going to resort back to fighting off the back foot. And that's going to spell disaster. That's going to spell disaster. Because fighting Deontay Wilder fatigued and off the back foot and letting him get full extension on his punches is going to spell disaster. And he's going to, in return, get knocked out, looking for the knockout. You see, they always say you don't look for the knockout. You get the knockouts when you're not looking for it. When you're looking for it, you get knocked out. So if their game plan is to knock out Deontay Wilder, then they will get knocked out. And that's his forte. He knocks everybody out. And they admit that that's impressive. And obviously, we know his power is unworldly, right? We've never seen it before. One punch knockout power. Accumulation punches, everybody, we've seen, I don't want to say everybody, we've seen a lot of fighters with stifling power, and it's accumulate. It's a accumulate. So it's over accumulate, over accumulation of punches. Wilder has one punch knockout power. And he don't even have to get full extension and full power on him. Right? So, with that said, I believe that a part of me believes that Tyson Fury is not totally confident that he could beat Deontay Wilder, and so he's just going to throw caution in the wind and hope it sticks. I'm going to go for the knockout. If I get knocked out, it is what it is. I believe that's the game plan. That's the mindset. Because, trying to dance around and look pretty and use sportsmanship and ring generalship and use the ring and use your feet fatigues you out. You make a mistake, he's going to get extension because he's going to hit you. It's a boxing match. He's going to touch you. And so, can he knock him out? Yes, he's 6'9", 260 pounds or 265 pounds. But like I stated, that's going to be a negative on his results. And I believe that Deontay Wilder, should Tyson Fury come in the ring over the weight that he was the first fight, I think the game plan should be body, and more body. Because he's going to fatigue. And it's only a matter of time for that straight right lands coming back upstairs that he don't see it. I will use the jab to the solar plex, jab to the solar plex, jab to the solar plex, and more jab to the solar plex. Because one thing is just like in football, when a defensive back is guarding a receiver and you looking to make a tackle, you watch the hips. The hips don't lie. All that upper body, head movement, all of that lies to you. That's deceiving. The hips don't lie. The body can't go nowhere without the hips. You could shuffle your feet, you can shuffle your shoulders, you can move your head, you can do all of this stuff. Your hand movement, your hips ain't going nowhere. It don't lie. It's going to tell you where your body's going. Point blank and period. The hips don't lie. So Deontay Wilder understands that Tyson Fury hips don't lie. Right? And as he comes forward, that's good for Deontay Wilder. Should he press the action and come forward, that's good. You take a half step back because you're long, rangy, and more athletic than Tyson Fury. You're quicker. You take a half step back every time you come forward and use the jab to the solar plex. A la Floyd Mayweather used the jab to Marcos Maidana's solar plex. Every time he pressed the action and come forward, just use the jab. He started to fold Marcos Maidana up like this. Every time he jabbed him to the solar plex. Straight left jab to the solar plex. And it wore Maidana down. And then guess what? Floyd Mayweather counter right hands and straight right hands started landing more and more cleanly. And he don't pack near the power Deontay Wilder do. The Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury's coming forward. You take a step back, jab to the solar plex, jab to his belt line, keep jabbing there, hit him in a diamond, boop, take the wind out of him, right? And let him get that. And when he get close, you go high guard, tie up, let the referee break you, whatever. And when he inside, give him a little uppercut every now and then. Let him know that that's still there. Take the step back. And eventually, the jab to the solar plex is going to become a feint and a straight right hand up top. And that's good night, Irene. Patience is the key for Deontay Wilder with either style Tyson Fury brings to the table. Because if he using a lot of movement, it's still patience. Deontay Wilder is so long, so rangy, and so athletic that he doesn't have to follow him around the ring. He can stand in one spot and pivot in one spot because he's so long and so rangy that he's cutting the ring off, just pivoted in the middle of the ring. He can pivot and cut the ring off. 2 steps forward on a pivot would cut the ring off for Deontay Wilder. Don't hop, don't follow him, don't do any of that. Just pivot and stick to the game plan. Stay discipline, jab to the solar plex, jab to the body, and the right hand is going to come. Now, Tyson Fury, he can have success. If Tyson Fury is able to withstand Deontay Wilder's power on the inside and able to get his punches off, then he can have success. Can he knock him out? I don't believe so. I believe Deontay Wilder's chin is underrated. I believe he has one of the best chins in the sport of boxing. He has awareness, and he will not get knocked out by Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury couldn't knock out Otto Wallin, and he barely knocked out Tom Schwartz and all these other guys who we never even heard of, right? He's definitely not going to knock out Deontay Wilder, because there's going to be hesitation on his part to continuously want to sit down on his punches. Tyson Fury is who he is. He can't change his stripes overnight. Now, he's a great fighter. He can make some adjustments, right? But there's still, the facts remain, he is who he is. Mentally and subconsciously, you're going to resort back to what you know. And Tyson Fury, even though he pressed the action against Otto Wallin, he did it in a cautious manner. And Otto Wallin doesn't have near the power of Deontay Wilder. Why he did it in a cautious manner? Because the left hook made him cautious. And that was in the fight. He didn't hit the canvas. So imagine, he knows what it feels like to hit the canvas and don't know how he got there, and hit the canvas off a punch that barely that grazed him. So best believe he understands subconsciously, is going to be a controlled attack, controlled aggression. He's not going to just after in the beginning, he's going to want to look to stand his ground and make a point, right? So he's going to come out firing on all cylinders, right? He's going to come out aggressive. But once he gets touched, and remember what that power feels like, just from a jab, just from a grazing punch, he's going to settle in and resort back to what he normally knows. Now, he's going to try to follow the game plan and press him forward, but eventually he's going to resort back to what he knows, and he's going to be on the back foot, and that's when it spells disaster. Point blank and period. But I absolutely can't wait for this fight. But I believe Deontay Wilder will win this fight by a second-round knockout or a ninth-round knockout. I know I have my reasons. Go back and check why I picked